Hi guys, my name is Alexandria Rose Sanchez, and before I begin my speech, I would like to address the issue of racism and police brutality in America today. As a minority, I have been aware of the mistreatment of minorities from a very, very early age. I've seen it in my school, in my work, in public, everywhere. But when enough is enough, we have to make a stand. Although we are very, very tired of fighting, we will continue to protest and fight for what we believe is right, even when those who we are fighting against choose ignorance. I'd also like to thank my fellow classmates and professors that with all the chaos happening in the world, you guys still choose education as your number one priority. And through education, we will create change and create a better world and future. You see, I think music brings people together. This is why I have so much respect for protest music. I grew up listening to 90s hip-hop, such as Wu-Tang, Nas, and Tribe Called Quest. But it wasn't until I got a little older that I started to understand the underlying messages of these rappers. They weren't just rapping just because. They were rapping about their everyday struggles as a minority in America. Moving on to today, my biggest idol when it comes to protest music is Joey Badass. AKA John Von Virgin Scott. Mr. Scott is a 25-year-old American rapper born in Brooklyn, New York. Joey grew up in a single-parent household. He grew up watching his mom pulling doubles, working 2 jobs at a time just to make ends meet. In a meeting with the therapist, he discovered that Joey never got to be a kid. And this is not uncommon for a child in a minority group. This is how he's able to relate so heavily with some of his audience, because most of us, or some of us at least, we have grown up in single parent households or even 2-parent households, but because we were in that lower class, we weren't able to always afford the best things, just the basics. From very early age, he learned that the land of the free is just the land for the freeloaders. The truth of America. In his high school years, in his cafeteria, he created a collective called Pro Era. And this featured artists like Capital Steez, who unfortunately committed suicide not too long afterwards. With all these hardships, it gave him the character development he needed to become the artist he is today. He went from recording freestyles on his PlayStation 2 and his MP3 player to creating whole productions. My favorite, his album All American Badass with 3 Ks, 2 As. Featuring songs like Land of the Free, Why Don't You Love Me, Devastated, and For My People. He brings attention to the systematic oppression of Black people, about racism and police brutality. He also says in an interview with Vogue that he will continue to speak on things that he thinks need to be spoken on and to fight for things he thinks need to be fought for. He hasn't stopped, and he is not going to stop spreading awareness about the importance minorities hold over this country. He's able to educate his audience about all the issues in America. Even today, he continues to educate all about racism through social media, shows that he's featured in, and his music. And now I present to you Joey Badbutt.